Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is a single-player survivor-like auto shooter. Wield the full arsenal of Deep Rock Galactic, take on hordes of lethal aliens, mine riches and unlock powerful upgrades. It's one dwarf against all of planet Hoxus. I did a video on this, I'm sure I did a video on this when it was a demo. It's now out in early access, and it wields quite an impressive lineup for an early access game. 4 classes, 40 weapons, 20 enemy types, 3 biomes, and a deep progression system of class mods, artifacts, and upgrades. Now this game plays like Vampire Survivors. It's one of them auto battler things where your skill comes in knowing where to go on the map, avoiding traps from the enemy, making the right upgrades, getting a bit of luck with the things that you get as you level up, and then perfecting an awesome build that just kicks bottoms. That's what it's all about. And this game does provide that, although in a different way to what we're used to with these kind of games. And I've played pretty much all of them. I've reviewed a number of these kind of games. Some crackers out there, some really good ones. And this one is no different. It's a really good example of the survivor genre. One of the most polished, if not the most polished, I would say. It oozes the class. You can tell they've got a bit of money to spend. The graphics, the voiceovers, just the way the game's put together oozes quality all the way. But presentation is not enough to make a good game. It has to play well, has to be enjoyable, has to be fun. Now, there is a couple of issues with this game. It's very grindy, and you kind of have to do a pointless bit of grinding as well, because when you get a weapon, you have to unlock the overclocking abilities of that weapon. Now, what the overclocking abilities does, it makes the weapon awesome. You get a range of abilities that you can add to that weapon at level 6 when you get it to level 6 and level 12 that simply make the weapon crazily overpowered. Well, actually, that's not true. Not overpowered, but competitive, I would say. It allows them to kick ass. But the first time you get that weapon, you can't add any of the overclocking mechanisms to it. You have to get it to level 12, which is a pointless grind, essentially, because once you've got it there, you can't overclock it, so your run's going to be shit. And I'm a bit confused as to why they've done that. That just seems a bit. Nevertheless, as you unlock the different classes, you will get different weapons. As you unlock different milestones, you'll get different weapons as well. And then you want to go and level them all up so you can overclock them. Then you decide which weapons you want in your head when you're playing, and then you hopefully get them to drop when you're playing the game. The 4 classes are quite unique from each other. You've got the Scout with his pretty shitty gun, to be honest. Quite weak early doors. You've got my favourite, the Engineer. Actually, I've got 2 favourites. The Engineer is great, and so is the kind of mining guy at the end. I forget what you call him. But he's just like a dedicated miner. He already mines fast. And mining is pretty much what makes this game different from any other Survivors game. Sticking with Deep Rock Galactic theme, you are sent out on missions to mine certain things, to collect certain things. But the mining of rare stones is what you're after, because that's where your progression goes. That's the roguelike element. As you eventually die on your run, you can upgrade core things, lots of them. Mining speed, crit, health, damage, overall damage, speed of the way how fast you run, crit damage, all of these kind of things, XP, collection radius, loads and loads of stuff by slotting them with the currency that you get, which is the gold that you collect, and the rare gems. There's even a little market where you can sell gems that you've got an abundance of to get other gems, so you can slot into the upgrade that you want. And these upgrades persist through death, so you never lose these. So you become, the more you play, the more powerful you become when you start your run. There's 3 different biomes with a few different missions to do on these biomes. Killing these big bosses is the ultimate goal. I've killed the first one. I haven't killed any more. I've just kind of I've played all the classes to kind of find my way through the game to see which class I prefer. The Engineer's great. He drops turrets. And I had like a combo with him with flame turrets and auto turrets, and then I got the plasma overclocking ability, which put plasma rounds in them. And my goodness, he kicked ass with that. It was so much fun playing that. That's probably my favourite build. I mean, it's one of them games where you do have to play it a while to kind of learn the ropes, learn the build that you want, see what works for you. when you're playing it, and this kind of is what works for me. It's definitely worth a buy. It's an $8.99 game. Loads and loads of hours of fun that you're going to have in this for a cheap game like that. Lots of different builds, lots of different weapons, totally different play styles of the 4 classes, and there's a whole lot more to come when the game fully launches. Don't know how many classes is going to come, but they've said there's going to be a lot more content. So it's definitely worth a buy. Great fun if you like Vampire Survivors kind of games.